Hello, you're about to watch part 2 of my new student orientation video. Now back to our links on the website. Here are some examples of that kind of writing that I called screencasts. I don't know what I'll be able to do with the new core curriculum in this regard, but in the past I have screencasted, or I've taken a camera and I have videotaped a conference that I made with the students, every student. I conference with them on every writing prompt, and I grade them, I score them, I let them know what they did well, I let them know what they need to improve, and I have videotaped that and posted it to YouTube so that parents could get in and on the conference, the actual conference. Now there are some examples of that on my website under this page called Screencasts. Now this is the style of writing that we're going to continue on with in the future. They're not the same narratives. We will write that number 6, a personal narrative, and number 5 is a story. And we'll be using, it's very much the same, but it's just the prompts will be slightly different. But you will see, in the Step Up to Writing, there's a color coding that begins with a green go topic, and then there's this yellow light, which means slow down and tell about your topic, which is support sentences, key facts I call them. And then there's a red light that says stop and tell about your key facts, which are the support sentences. Now we start that at about Christmas time, because it's even a third layer of complexity. And then there's a last green line at the bottom that says go back and tell your topic again. We call that the conclusion. You restate your topic. And that's the main outline strategy for writing. And we'll maintain that all year long, no matter what the prompt is. Now, there is writing in class just about every day. And one of those forms is a writing journal. Oftentimes, this writing journal is, we'll listen to a story in class at the reading listening center, and then there's a journal prompt where it's asking them to write about the story they just listened to, and according whatever the theme is or the topic is for the week, that'll change the journal topic. They will date the journal, and then they'll write sentences in there as one of the rotations about as a journal response to the story. Now we're in the afternoon now in our schedule as we go back to that. And in the afternoon is usually, almost always, when I teach science. And during second grade, there are 3 themes in the science. It's living things grow and change, which is plants and animals. Exploring Earth's surface, which ends up being rocks and minerals and fossils primarily. And then we get into dinosaurs. And then there's matter and motion. That's towards the end of the year. Now, the last 10 years, I've done an oral science report on each of those themes, and it has been homework. It's gone home. Now, it's a little iffy this first year. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. We may end up doing them in class, so you might have to stand by in the next few years to know what we're going to do on oral science reports. But this is what they look like when they come. The child stands in the front of the room, and the Science Channel presents, and this is the rock and mineral, which would be the second one. They do that pictorial in the front of the room. It has 8 major facts or key facts about their subject. In this case, it's marble. And they give their report orally to the class, and the class asks questions after they're done, which they should, as the expert, be able to answer. When you see the word pictorial, this is an example of it. It's a poster board with the title of the subject and 8 major items around it. Now, the key to this is those captions. That's all I want written on these. Nothing else but captions. Some of the print on some of the diagrams and things are there, but as far as your child to have to read it, this makes it really easy for them, but they have to remember what they're going to say after they read those captions. It's for presentation skills. Now, when we come to this, you might be interested in the science report examples on one of those links on the website. You click on there and it takes you to some samples that my children have done in the past. This is the page it would take you to, and these are links to YouTube for the living things grow and change, the rock and minerals, and what fossils tell us about dinosaurs. And when you click on them, you'll see children who have given good science reports as good examples of what to do. You could have your child watch these, and they could say, yeah, I could do that. I could do it better. Afternoon is also when I teach social study themes. They are long ago and yesterday, map skills, our government, producers and consumers, and people in history. This is a great time to focus in on listening and speaking as well. They do a lot of discussion group things here, also some writing responses to these themes. Now, there's another link on the website, our website on the left side, and it's the math homework book. This is kind of out of order. We don't do math in the afternoon. But anyway, it could be a good link for you to know about. Well, it is kind of afternoon because if your child forgets to take their homework home at night, I give it to them, I hand it to them. They're in their personal hands every day, but somehow, the math homework gremlin gets it on the way home and it disappears. Maybe it gets washed out in their backpack. Maybe they leave it at the Boys and Girls Club. Well, I've got a solution to that. They get home and tell you, you go to my website. You click on this link. This link takes you to another page about the math homework book. And each of those is a PDF form. That PDF takes you to an entire chapter in the math book. So within that chapter, there are about 10 math pages. Click on that, and you can come to the next page. Now, this is the very first chapter, first page, front and back. So if you have to do this, you have to print 2 of them, front and back, 1-1, 1-1. Now, I know that children do this because about 4 or 5 times during the year, I'll get a printed page of the math because I give this page as a hard copy going out the door. So it's very important. It's kind of a hassle to print this, but you have it. But it's because it's so easy to just get it from your child and do it instead of having to go online and go print it out. It's just a backup when you need it. Now, our math adoption also has this website. And there are several resources on here that you can take advantage of. Now, when you go to this page, and it's posted up there, you can see the URL at the top. Now, that one you're going to have to write down. I don't have any quick link to it. But when you get there, you'll get to this page, and in the red is the picture of our math book. It just says grade 2nd, grade 2. Click on there, go inside, and you'll find games and some resources that are really quite good that you want your child to play on. Hey, you're at the doctor's office, they're bored. Say, let's go to the 2nd grade math book, and they'll have a website to play on the iPad. A math game. Now, there's also other important links at the top that you can take advantage of at this website. Now, I do want to encourage you to Fridays in the afternoon, we go to the library the last hour. Now, this brings up the subject of library books and reading. And what we usually do is they go to the library now this year on Friday. Now, if you're getting this in the middle of the year or another year, it could be another day. It changes from year to year. But whatever library day is, they need to bring their library books in. They get 2 from the library on Friday, and they take them home and bring them back the next Friday. Now, we have a program that I use in the classroom called AR, and you're going to be seeing little colored dots on the book, and I want to explain that now. AR is called Accelerated Reader, And we just recently went to the Global Accelerated Reader, which just brought in tens of thousands of more books that we can do tests on, which is terrific. Now this is Clifford Takes a Trip. Now look at the bottom of the spine of the book. It has a sticker on it, and it's a light green sticker. That represents a certain level of reader of all the books in our library. These are all the reading levels that you see on the screen from Accelerated Reader. You can see that the green relates to the level of 1.6 to 2.0. Now that's first grade 6th month to second grade start, the 0 month. So light green is really where we'd like to see them coming in at about light green, bright orange as far as AR. Now AR is a program where they get a book. It's a hard copy book. The library has many of them, a lot of them. I have 1,000 of them in my own room. And each of these colors, most of them, I have 50 to 100 books. Now, the idea of this is for this light green child to move up to bright orange. And to do that, they just simply need to read the book, go to the computer, type the test number in for this book, take a 5 to 10 question test on it, and pass the test at 80%. If they do that 10 times for my classroom, that shows some pretty good mastery of that level. So we're pretty sure that they're ready for bright orange. And then we'll send them up to bright orange. Now, I require this rule I've added, that they have to take 2 tests a week in AR. It's a requirement. If they do, then I'm going to give them the freedom to read any book in the room they want to, any level AR, and also I have another about 300 books that are not AR that they may be interested in dinosaurs. So go read dinosaurs anytime you want. It encourages them to read the kind of books that they really want to read too. But I need to have 2 tests a week. And that could be their library books. If they read those at home, bring them back. And on Friday, we go to the computer lab. And that's kind of like the dipstick. Hey, this is where you take your tests. You will take your tests on this day. And because we go there and we have 45 minutes, they can take 2 AR tests. It moves them right up these colors. And it assures that they're free reading. They are reading books that are their level. Not something way out of their level. Just reading the pictures or the captions or something. Now for this, I do need a parent volunteer. It takes some posting in the room on a poster. It makes the awards. It takes an hour a week to do this for the class. You print out the reports on the computer and then process it from there. Now, when your child goes up from light green to bright orange, I send a congratulations certificate home to mom and dad. We put this on the whiteboard too, because we make a big deal. It's after 10 tests and you've gone up a color. It's quite good. So you'll get this, and their name will be on the certificate, and you know that they're moving up, and that's a really good thing. Now, since we're talking about Fridays are typically designated assessment days. That's our assessment day. We go to the lineup, the Friday lineup for pledge outside on the playground, and then we come in and we do a spelling test. This is the kind of spelling test we'll be doing every Friday. Now this is what they're studying for. They're practicing 4 nights a week at homework for the spelling lists every week. These spelling lists you'll get off the website. They're all there for the whole year if you download that PDF. There's always 14 words, and then on the back side I do dictation sentences where they need to prove putting the spelling into context, not just a list. You'll find that the words are high frequency words and they come from our stories, and some people say they're easy. They're supposed to be somewhat easy because they need to master them and they need to be able to use them in sentence form. On the right is a math test that we do most weeks, and that's also on Fridays. Now, talking about math, we'll go back to these links. There's a link to Time Math Fact Practice. On Fridays, we also have another assessment I call Pirate Math. I call it that because two pirates introduce a video which says you have 5 minutes now to do as many problems as you possibly can um, on Pirate Math. And so it's a minute math kind of thing where they go as fast as they can with their math facts. Now, if your child gets behind on that, and I'll send a little email home saying, your child really isn't moving up in their math facts. We've done 4 or 5 weeks and they're still on the same row of the 100 sheet. I'll send you to this. Click on this link. And it takes you to this home page for Time Math Facts Practice. Now, on each one of those that you click there, it's a level of math facts for addition. It's kind of like the old multiplication tables. You could try this once and see how it works. There's 100 problems on each one. I read the math fact to them. There's some music playing in the background, but they have to have the form at the bottom that's also in red when you get there where they'll write their answers in. I'll say 3 plus 2. They have to write the answer 5. And then I'll say 4 plus 2. And they'll answer 6 in the square. Now on this one, I think they're 12 to 15 minutes to do it instead of 5. So it gives them more time between each answer for as I read it to do it. So if your child is struggling at this, it's a 15-minute practice. You could go there on their level and practice what they need to do. Now, coming to the end of the orientation, I would like to encourage you to volunteer if you can. I really rely on my parent volunteers. I always get great help. Now, you should have received this if you're watching this video. It's also on the website. It's the Specific Volunteers Choices. This is for parents who want to volunteer mostly in the classroom. As I said, I have usually between 5 and 13. And you can see there's good 13 jobs there. And we assign you a job that fits what you'd like to do and your time and your schedule. And then it just makes the classroom just go so much better. And I mean, when I can cover all of these as I did last year, for instance, boy, the class just is able to move along better and accomplish more things. Now on this one, just circle where it says it's your interest. Some of them are certain days because they have to be on those days in the schedule. Down below at the very bottom, you let me know when your best days are. And if none of that makes sense or fits you, just write on there, just on the side in the margins. Just say, I would like to do this, and I can do it at such a time. Now, at the top, you new students, I would like your email. I communicate a lot on email. So on this form, would you put the child's name, your name, and then the email? And by the way, I don't put numbers on anything that goes home. I just don't like that. It's like putting a child's name on the back of their backpack. I don't think that's a safe thing to do. I would put the name on the inside of the backpack maybe, but on things that go home, I don't put their name or number. But this you could fill it out, send it back in, and I'll be contacting you in a little while. Again, this is a simple way to help is this parent volunteer envelope, just to do paid papers 5 times a year to score them. And as promised, this is that chart that says, I'll mark this when it goes home. The first X there is on Wednesday of the 4th week. Look at the other X's on the page because I put X's for that year. There's only 5 of them. And then the next year I used zeros, circles. And there's 5 of those. So on the average, this envelope ends up going home about 5 years if all parents end up volunteering. So that's really it for orientation. If you have any questions, give me a call at the school. Oh, it's really hard to pick up the phone. I mean, because it doesn't come through at the right times. They won't send it through during instructional time. So it's either before school or after school. The really best way to get a hold of me is that email address that was at the bottom of the screen. I do a lot of emailing, and if we need to talk, that's great. We'll get on the phone. We'll talk in person. But I look forward to having a great year with your student. With your child, my student. If you're watching this as a DVD at home, I would appreciate if you, because you don't have a computer, that you return the DVD to the classroom as soon as you're finished viewing it for the next new child who comes in the classroom. Well, this is the end of part one of the orientation video. I thought 20 minutes was long enough. Now you can go and have dinner with your kids and then come back and click on the other link on the web page and you can watch the second half.